What's up, everybody? I'm back.
We're back, baby. Let's go, man. I had the wrong thing up, but we're good to go,
man.
man.
Buddy. That's all right, man. I got a new hat, too. Came in the mail the other day. NFL All-Day Reward hat. Let's go, man. And it's a Nike dry fit. Like NFL All-Day wasn't fucking around on their little prizes they're giving out. Love it. Dope. Man, week 14. Again, kind of another down scoring week. Just across the board. Like, I want some bigger fucking performances, people. And the injury gods may have taken another one.
They keep trying, man. It's every week, bro. Like,
It's almost painful anymore. I don't want to cry.
Why do we always have to lose somebody, man, every week, right? I mean, shit. What's going on, everybody? We appreciate y'all tapping in. We got B in the building, our boy Brandon. We got Dynasty Barry, Shane Joe. We got a bunch of others.
Oh, man. Bro, this is just like Wedding Crashers, man. We're going to be on the dance floor at a wedding just being like, we lost a lot of really good men out there. In fantasy football, I just can't talk about it. Wish I was stronger.
Injuries and trades, it's just... Fuck. Man.
It's horrible, man.
Dude, every week. What's the story?
Oh. Man, Russ comes out, starts cooking, right? Finally cooking. We finally get to see it. What's happening? You got this giant knot on his fucking forehead. Down there with Spider-Man fingers. I'm like, oh shit.
Dude, he went to sleep, man. That did not look good. When the ball just goes out his hands or everywhere, it's just you hate to see guys get hit like that. Kenny Pickett got a concussion as well.
Again.
Dude, let me say this. I don't know if you guys saw this happen, but so he got the concussion. He went back out there. The following series, now he's off the field, and then he's confirmed out with a concussion. Supposedly he cleared protocol. How does this keep happening?
I don't know. They need better doctors.
I know these guys want to go play.
NFL's a $1 billion industry. Can't keep guys from running back out on the field.
It's almost like they need an unbiased arbitrator doctor for every team that's like, no, he needs to be cleared by someone right now before he goes back. It's crazy. I don't understand it. Patty Mills has a question here, Mike. So what do you think here?
Man, I have no idea what the Debo injury is. So this is what makes it so hard. Adam, I don't know what it is. I have no idea what the fuck it is. Could be anything from an ACL to an MCL to a high ankle. Even our good buddy Jeff just really doesn't have a good idea yet. Yeah. It didn't look good. Safe to say, though, on replay, his foot wasn't stuck in the ground, which is always kind of a good sign, I guess, on these type of injuries.
Right.
Debo and the 201 or Godwin. And if I'm not, I'll take Debo and the 201, to be honest.
I would too. I also saw that. Now let's call it what it is. I think what I saw and what I've read basically is he avoided a major injury. That basically means like his season isn't over, type thing. But at the same time, we're so far down. Like if he misses next week, I would not be surprised at all. So
yeah.
I'm taking the 201 and Debo. The thing here, Patty Mills, is this too. If you're able to still trade, like I'm going to see then what I can do with 201 as well. Probably if I'm contending. If you're not, just give me Debo in the 201. Easy. So I think either way I'm doing this, Mike.
I mean, what's Godwin got left? Like Cardinals, Panthers, Falcons. It isn't the craziest schedule for Chris Godwin, I guess, but
so we got Bengals next week. We got
Bengals, Cardinals, Panthers, Falcons. Yep. So none of those like ridiculous defenses. I don't know, man. That whole Tampa Bay offense looks horrible. I know it was against San Francisco, but even against bad teams, they don't look good. I just if I can afford it, right? Unless Godwin, like I'm locked into starting Godwin as my wide receiver 2 or something like that. Hopefully not your wide receiver 1, but wide receiver 2. I think I just play the variance, man, and I'll just take the 201 and Debo and kind of hedge my bets a little bit. What do you think?
I'm 100% with you, man. I am 100% with you. Give me that Debo side. So yeah, let's go ahead and admit this here.
We got to talk about this, man. We knew it was coming too.
I just had a sense after him missing time in practice. It's almost as if Campbell's like, listen, you're starting to show me something, DeAndre, you're practicing, you're off the injury report, and then I give you the reins, and here we go. So,
yeah, I think Swift's only good when I'm working nights and not doing content. this channel. That's obviously what happened. So
apparently, he's good basically whenever I'm not starting him, because I did start him in a couple places, but it's just like now you're really wanting to start him. You're unsure. It was
Well, let's talk about the Lions as a whole, man. Jared Goff,
let's do
baby.
it, man. Jared Goff
said, "What's up?"
Yeah. So Swift, not ideal, right? I mean,
the Vikings aren't a good defense, so let's not get it twisted. But Jared Goff's actually been playing well, no matter who he's playing against. Like, he's been playing really well for a few weeks now. Ray has been on it. I've been on it for multiple weeks about, like, what kind of quarterbacks would I want to buy here with the deadline coming up, just looking towards the future. Jared Goff is going to have a fucking job somewhere. Now, the Lions are kind of playing themselves out of an elite quarterback, Adam, and they're playing themselves more into like a Will Levis or an Anthony Richardson, like something along those lines, if that's the route they want to go with quarterback. And either one of those guys means Jared Goff would probably start for most, if not all, of 2023. If they do decide to move on from Jared Goff, some reason they land a Stroud or a Bryce Young and they want to hand them the reins and they move off of Jared Goff, like, some other team is going to pick him up. He's playing really good football. He's not this horrible quarterback we've all been led to believe. Playing really well, man. Just playing really well. And whoever the fuck the Lions quarterback is in 2023, you're going to want him because you got guys like Amon-Ra and Swift on his bullshit. But J-Mo made an appearance, man.
J-Mo was wide open on that 41-yard touchdown. Let's go. I did not expect that to happen today. I'm assuming he's going to just continue to get more comfortable as it goes along.
Yeah.
To your point, man, going into next year, I don't think they're positioned to go get C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, and I think if they do take a quarterback, it'll be a project guy. I think there's a scenario where they just maybe roll with Goff as a patch quarterback for another year, man. Like, I don't know what they do.
They do get 2 first-round picks, one of them being the Rams, which is probably finishing better than where the Lions pick's going to be at this point.
Right now it's like 4th or 5th, dude. It's a fucking high pick.
So, I mean, there's still that possibility of a quarterback. I just think with the way this team is playing, with the way Goff is playing, it doesn't matter if it's in Detroit. It's going to be somewhere. I really like what I see out of Jared Goff. He's playing really well. Amon-Ra, again, I mean, you look at it and you go, man, he didn't do much, but 6 for 68, 9 targets. Like, that's his floor. That's really good fucking floor. DJ Chark, baby. 6 for 94 and a touchdown.
Chark balled out, man. Chark balled out today. Dude, he looks fast today, man. Like, I don't know. I know he's actually looked pretty fast or good last week and this week, but it looks like he's actually back healthy. And when you have to put a bunch of focus on Amon-Ra St. Brown and DJ Chark's getting number 2s and stuff, he looked very good today. I think he's great in best ball right now, especially, man, when you don't have to start him.
Yeah. None of the running backs. Jamal Williams also had an awful game, a Jamawful game. Dude, we know what Swift didn't do anything. So.
And Justin Jackson, like this backfield, if they're going to use Swift like this backfield is about to be just worthless. Justin Jackson was taking touches. Yep. Jamal Williams had, what do you have, 16 carries or something for like 30-something yards? It's just brutal. Fucking brutal.
Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. On the other side of the ball, though, man,
Justin
Jefferson.
Let's talk about it, man. Yeah. Justin Jefferson is that dude.
He's been that dude for a while, right?
Yeah, he's that dude.
I saw at Heisman, Jeff was like, oh, it's good to see Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase balling out. I'm just kind of like, yeah, no shit. Color everyone's shocked, man. There's a reason they're wide receiver 1 and 2 in Dynasty. We know this. But, again, 200 yards. Holy shit. Makes you pay attention. Kirk Cousins threw the ball 41 times. They could not run the ball to save their life. Speaking of inept running games, Dalvin Cook, 5 for 23.
What?
1.5 yards per carry. What the fuck?
Mike, did you see? What was that on the goal line? Like,
I don't know.
He has the ball. He does this like stutter dance like 3-4 times. Doesn't go anywhere. Finally decides to just go forward and fumbles the ball.
I really think if you watch it back, they were trying to do one of those like Derrick Henry jump passes where they toss the ball. And he runs towards the line and jumps up. And there was a guy breaking open late, and it kind of looked like he was waiting for it and then just said, fuck it. And when he said, fuck it, the ball said, fuck it too.
Yeah. I mean,
it just wasn't pretty the rest of the game. I mean, he had that touchdown, which he gave the defender a ridiculous juke, like the craziest dead leg. He still has it, but they could not block for the rest of the fucking game to save his life. So they just threw the ball a billion times, and good for everyone that owns Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Justin Jefferson is a fucking stud, man. He is fucking good. Breaking the Vikings record. That includes when Randy Moss was there, 223, right?
It's crazy.
Man, I don't know what to make of this. You know, them, I don't know, the team, though, as a whole. They're hard to predict weekly, man, the Vikings, you know? Like,
overrated as fuck.
Yeah. So, I don't see them making a run right now, honestly, in this NFC, man.
I wouldn't even put them as the second best, probably not the third best team in the NFC. I will put Dallas and I will put San Francisco over them, even with Brock Purdy.
I'm 100% with you. I'm 100% with you. Well,
no question about it. Like, regardless of record, I think they're fraudulent. They've been fraudulent. The Eagles beat the shit out of them, and then they kind of just got lucky with schedule. Like, they have an offense. They have an offense that can explode, but it has problems. As you can see, you can't run the football. Justin Jefferson is a problem for teams, but some teams can take him away. As you saw, Darius Slay took him away early in the year.
Yeah, I mean, and even when he goes off, he's only one guy, right? And the rest of the team still has to show up. So, Mike, let's go ahead and get to your Eagles, man. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts, man. Seemed like when I'm just looking at my phone every now and again, it's like notification, touchdown, Jalen Hurts, notification, touchdown, Jalen Hurts, right? It's everywhere. This dude is – listen, man, if there's no shots to him, if he plays through the rest of fantasy football playoffs, God forbid any injuries coming to anyone – this dude is going to win people leagues. He is absolutely smashing.
But I'm pretty sure he's on track and the runner, the clear front runner for MVP of the entire league.
Gotta be, man.
He's playing out of his fucking mind. The Giants tried to take away the running game early, right? They tried, and they did fairly well. And Jalen Hurts said, "That's all right. Watch this." And then he started throwing the ball all over the place. And then in the second half, the Giants were like, we're going to try to take away the pass. And then Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders were like, great. We're just going to run this bitch.
I mean, we could almost do an entire show here on just how great everybody from Philly played, right? To your point, man, Miles Sanders went off. I think I was the only one because everyone was like, nah, you know what, go ahead and put Zeke in. I said, nah, I'm starting Sanders this week on that start-sit question. Zeke had the great matchup, and Zeke wasn't bad. But, dude, Miles Sanders went off today.
Yeah, that thing in the back of my mind, and they showed the stat during the game, too, about Boston Scott versus the Giants. Like, every time Boston Scott plays the Giants, he kills them. And I thought maybe Nick Sirianni be on his bullshit and give Boston Scott a bunch of work. Now, he did have 33 yards and a touchdown with the backups. So he still is perfect. He still does do damage against the Giants.
And he averaged 5.5 a carry, too.
Yeah, but Miles Sanders got that work, man. Miles Sanders got that work. This is the thing, man, with Miles Sanders. Extremely talented. Great running back. Nick Sirianni sometimes is on his bullshit and doesn't give him the work. Right? He's kind of like a poor version of Swift at times, right? Maybe not as explosive, but kind of similar, right? Good in the passing game, highly efficient. You pray he gets the work, and he's getting the work. He's getting the work. He's going to win you some fucking leagues if this keeps up, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's frustrating about Sanders, and when we were, we hit an all-time peak, I think, going into that 2020 season for him value-wise, is we've seen these games, right, where he can take 17 touches, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. He can catch a pass through the air for 11. Like, he has all the ability, but we've had so much either him staying healthy, him not producing certain times he has had the ball, and then, Nick Sirianni playing that bullshit. So it's hard to know with him weekly, but this is the upside that he possesses. Listen, man, we got a bunch of people calling for Slim Reaper, so let's go ahead and do it, man. And I saw Ray tweeted, I don't know if Ray's in here or not, but Ray tweeted how, man, everybody's process was partly that, he's too small, he's too skinny.
He's too skinny, man.
That's not BMI. That's a great process to have, right? Just saying he's too small. So this dude is a baller. Like, remember?
He doesn't catch that touchdown pass unless he's this slim, man.
Dude,
Julian Love was coming to take his fucking head off because he's so skinny. Just whoop, there you go, right past him.
Remember all offseason, there was panic on Devontae Smith. Remember how week 1 it reached
really panic.
Fucking. I mean, I don't have a sounder for that. I may have to get the panic sounder next time. Panic was crazy, right? No catches, everyone's tripping. Slim Reaper's having a nice little season, man. He really is. So
he's the perfect kind of complement to AJ Brown, and exactly what Jalen Hurts needs.
And AJ Brown, still really fucking good too. Like this team is.
I mean, the way Jalen Hurts does swole Batman things, man.
The way Jalen Hurts is playing with the weapons he has, I don't want to see this team. I don't think anybody would want to see this team.
They're getting one back too. They're getting one back in a week or two.
It's fair. It's true. You're excited, huh?
Dallas Goedert be coming back, man.
Yep.
It's going to be nice that, just like every other NFL team, we kind of have some injuries and some, Lane Johnson went out. We'll have to see what that's like. Had a few guys get banged up. Obviously, our punter got rocked. If anybody wants to go check that out, that guy got fucking demolished. But
crushed.
The way it's going with the Vikings losing, just kind of the state of it. I mean, we're about 1 or 2 games away from just locking up the 1 seed and coasting into the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see how they play that out. If they want to rest guys or they want to try to keep them firing on all cylinders. But it's always nice to have that option, man. It's like your fantasy teams. You want that bye week. You want that ability just to kind of go, yeah, not this week. We don't got to worry about it.
Right. Hey, let's go ahead, man. I don't have a Brock Purdy hologram. I'm not sure. He's going to have to keep doing this for a while to have one, but I will say we will talk about the man. And Mike.
Played really well.
4 touchdowns in the first half, 28-0. Like, I don't know. I just think this team, man, in the way they're set up with their weapons, the way they play defense, the run scheme they have, I'm not going to say you put anybody back there, but it's looking damn near like you could put anybody back there, right?
Like, I was going to say, is there any bigger indictment on the skill, the talent of Jimmy G than what we just saw?
Dude,
is there any bigger indictment?
It was actually getting frustrating for me, man, because there's like, there's some people that are just doing this Jimmy G stuff, and it's like, oh, well, he's winning. Look, he's got more wins. His record's better than when they had Montana and Young and this stuff. And it's like, okay, well, they invested all that because they know what Jimmy G is, and he's replaceable. And, like, I don't know that Brock Purdy plays this way the rest of the year. But the point is, like, this offense was honestly as explosive as it's ever been all season, including with Lance, with Purdy. So, like, yeah, Jimmy G's a nice little game manager, but he doesn't offer anything that a lot of people don't back there. So, Purdy looked good, man.
He looked good. But let's also be honest, man. He's only asked to throw the ball 21 times.
For sure.
The offense was highly efficient. McCaffrey was doing work. Debo was doing work. Ayuk, that filthy-ass route that he ran on that touchdown. George Kittle's still disappointing. Kind of what I alluded to. It's just like, God, I wish you weren't such a good blocker, Kittle. But Purdy only was asked to throw the ball 21 times. Fantastic defense. Tampa Bay was never really a threat, and he still threw for under 200 yards, right? I don't want to – let's not get crazy because we see the fantasy score. He's going to finish somewhere around QB 6, probably a little bit lower after these next couple of games. Probably top 10 QB, I would say, is fair to say. He's going to finish in fantasy points, but it wasn't ridiculous from the NFL. Like NFL-wise, they weren't asking him to do a fuck ton, so – don't get over your skis about it, but he was Jimmy G-esque.
Yeah.
How about that?
What's going on, Kyle? I like this one, the Mahomes Purdy. Now, let me say this, too, to get some player analysis on this, right? So you got the Debo injury, and I think the Debo injury, if he does miss time, is where this is going to be interesting to see how it plays out, right? Because Debo, if you remember, was watching this game. He was getting these, quick checks around the line of scrimmage, getting some carries, right, to really help alleviate pressure on Purdy. And I think really, if you saw the touchdown Brandon Ayuk had, he was wide fucking open. He shook that dude like crazy. Purdy literally left it so short that it almost wasn't a touchdown. But I didn't see – I'm going to be interested to see how it goes here if Debo misses time and how Ayuk does with him. Because with him running a lot of these outside routes, it wasn't something he was focusing on a lot of attention. He doesn't want to push the ball outside. Kittle was a very mediocre game, but he did seem to want to get him the ball. So if Debo misses time, I think Kittle is a benefactor of that. And then Ayuk, that touchdown was nice, man. He shook somebody, but I don't know how consistent the target volume is going to be with Purdy.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have to throw it like Jag was talking about in the second half. He didn't have to throw it in the second half, but still, it's just, I want to see a little bit more, right? You got to put a little bit more on his plate. But it's not to take anything away from him, man. Just don't get over your skis about a guy who threw the ball 21 times because his team was up. for the entire game.
Yeah, and then on the other side of the ball, man, Mike, I know the Bucs have not been good this year, man, but like,
correct.
I'll say this, like, this to me maybe was their worst performance. Like, it felt like their worst performance of the year, man. It was just horrible. Even the one touchdown they had was on a deflected pass, and it's just.
Yeah, it's fucking Russell Gage of all people.
It's so fucking bad, dude.
Nobody was good. Lenny wasn't good. Rashad White wasn't good. Brady wasn't good. I mean, Godwin, I guess, if 10 points is good to you, okay. Mike Evans still continues his streak of doing nothing. Almost had a touchdown, but
he had a great one, and then it's coming back.
Holding.
Yeah, it's coming back, man.
It's not good, man.
Granted, shit!
Though,
is this right, Joe? If he said it's a high ankle sprain,
well, that's
yikes.
a wrap for this year for us.
Yeah, I had not seen that, Joe. But if Shane, but if that's the case, dude, that's not good, man. Fuck.
Yeah, that's over for us. You won't get anything out of him for the rest of the fantasy football.
And our boy Fantasy Draft Room's in here saying the same thing, dude. So
yeah, it's done.
Okay. We'll see how Brock Purdy does without Debo in there next week.
All right, so back to the original question for Patty Mills. Debo with a high ankle who you can't use the rest of the year.
Or Godwin on screen.
Or Godwin with 5 for 54.
Are you contending?
It's a favorable schedule.
If you're contending, I think I might
hold Godwin.
Might hold him. I would need to know if like you think you can flip that to a 1 and get something better than Godwin or in the range of him, replaceable points. I just think Godwin's a guy right now. I like him. I like the talent, but I think he's a guy with the offense the way it is. So,
yeah, if I got till like Tuesday morning at midnight for a lot of sleeper leagues for trade deadlines for week 14.
Right.
If I got till then, I might take that and just shop that 201 around.
Well, the best part is if you do, and this guy's willing to play ball and he's tilting, like he's not gonna take that trade away with 201. I think you could basically keep it in your inbox and just keep talking to other managers to see what you could get with that 201. So
there you go.
I would try that approach, but man, we got some other games to get to. Mike, which one you want to talk about in particular? Or anybody in the chat, anything you wanted to talk about?
Oh, there's quite a few, man. We got to talk about Evan Ingram and the Jacksonville Jaguars and Jesus.
Man, T-Law was really good. I don't know. You know what, man? I have very little of the trap.
I doubt you got an Evan Ingram one.
I know.
But he's gonna be.
I'm checking right now, and I don't think I have it, man.
The entire week,
dude. It's crazy, man. I need. You know what? Next year. I'm just gonna make everybody, like every person possible, and then we'll just pull them if they are worthy of something. Christian Kirk was somebody we talked about starting a lot of, right, Mike? So
yeah.
When Evan Ingram does that, what are you gonna do, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, T-Law. I guess that's the most exciting part about that whole thing. I mean, Evan Ingram blew up. Going to be the top scoring fantasy player on the week, barring something crazy happen these next 2 games, Sunday night, Monday night. But, I mean, what are you going to do, man? 5 for 45, kind of like we're talking about Godwin. He's going to have up games. He's going to have down games. If Evan Ingram's going off, good luck. I guess. Good luck.
I mean,
but
Zay Jones had a nice
whole
game too, man.
Yeah, he had a nice game. Zay Jones did have a nice game.
8 for 77 and a touchdown, man. I bet you. What do you think that is wide receiver wise for the week? I bet you that's a pretty decent week, dude.
I bet he finishes. Well, let's look and see where he's at right now. Yeah, he's top 12.
There you go.
Top 12. I mean, currently number 6, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
right behind Chris Moore.
Now to your point, right? The reason that's the case is because Trevor Lawrence is 368, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Also had a touchdown via the ground. Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence,
man,
good.
I think you know what I do think with Trevor Lawrence. Let me say this with him. The one thing I'll say about Lawrence is if he's continuing to do this, and we see him really play well at the end of the year. Obviously, they don't go to the playoffs, but I think this is good for people to see. Because there's so much panic on these young guys that don't do well right away.
100%.
And I think if he continues to play like this is really good for everyone to remember in Dynasty is we have to be a little more careful about how high our expectations are right out of the gate, and also not throwing people to the wind like it's over for him, it's a wrap for him after a bad rookie year or even an up and down sophomore year, right? So
we're gonna have
this one's interesting.
We're gonna have a great conversation on quarterbacks with Ray this week on the 4D pod, and that's gonna be one of the big ones. Is patience with quarterbacks, right? He's talking about in the future how we're looking with Anthony Richardson, like where you should take him, but you got to be patient. The thing is, Adam, like with those kind of guys, and we'll have this discussion more in depth, but as you can see, the dynasty landscape as a whole, not patient with quarterbacks, young quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, no. Tua, no. We just don't do it. I remember one of my startups a few years ago. I'm sitting there looking whether I take Josh Allen or Carson Wentz, and I'm like, fucking Josh Allen's never done it. He's 2 years. He's still been shit. I just can't fucking do this no more. So I took Carson Wentz, and you don't think I kick myself every fucking day for that decision. So this is the thing with young quarterbacks. Sometimes you got to be patient. Oh, shit, Justin Fields, too. There's another one you can add to the list for this year.
There you go.
So
exactly. Right. Yep.
Takes a little time sometimes.
It does, man. I'm 100% with you. Let me say this, dude. ETN. What's going on? Are you how concerned are you? Actually, I'm not going to ask you. Are you concerned? Because I think the answer
I've been concerned for a while.
Yeah,
I've been concerned for a while because we've been talking about when we did the Spike Weeks Consistency Weeks pod, and I'm looking at Travis Etienne and where he's valued at in the landscape, and even me. Remember, we're having arguments on this fucking show about who's Dynasty RB1 or who's Dynasty RB2 back when JT's, injured. And I'm talking, You got Breece Hall, and then Breece Hall goes down, and I'm like, we should have Travis Etienne in this consideration along with Kenneth Walker. And he started looking at the numbers, and I'm like, fuck no, man. Like, I don't, no. And you're kind of seeing it. You're kind of seeing it. Now, just because the running back landscape as a whole is shit, and he's young, and he's shown times of being explosive, and he can catch the ball, he's got to be propped up. But Adam, he's not one of those guys I want to sell my soul for. Like, I honestly think on a lot of teams I have him on, like if he's not an integral piece to me competing in a best ball league and I can't get the right value, come off season though, this is a dude that I'm looking at selling. Like, this is a guy that I will actively sell because I think market value indicates that he's worth more than what he's actually going to give you. Like, if I get 2 first, peace. See ya. I'll move on with myself and re-roll it. I don't give a fuck where those first are either. I don't.
Let me ask you this: mid first 23 or ETN?
Ooh, a single one. See, that's what makes it hard for me because I like to diversify. Right, I get more shots at the dartboard.
For sure.
I think if you're talking just a single mid first, like 105, 106, Adam, I might lean Travis Etienne. Just okay. Play, just because I think it might have a little bit more value going forward.
Okay.
If you were to tell me like you'll give me the 110 and the 112. I'll take those 2 picks, though.
Okay. Jag, you're right. It was canceled by Urban. Kyle, yes, we are looking forward to that as well. Trust me, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Barry says Etienne RB52 on Warp the last 4 weeks.
Holy Yikes. Shit.
This is what I'm trying to get at, man. I'm glad, Barry, you put that in there because it doesn't have to be now Adam's opinion that he's so bad to me, Mike, that I honestly think that him going into his 3rd year, already being hurt, not producing lately, like I actually think I would take the mid first. Now I'm with you. Like,
I won't fight you on
104 or earlier is a smash. 105, 106, I think we'll see who ends up going there and what the landing spots of players are and what the draft looks like. But man, I'm very, very concerned about Travis Etienne.
Let me ask you this too, because to your point about it, like when I really think about it, Adam, when I sit down and look at it, you're talking mid first or Travis Etienne right now. Adam, there's a good chance, just the way things shake out, that could be a quarterback, like the opposite of CJ Strong or Bryce Young, whoever doesn't go early if they get pushed down the board a little bit more.
Right.
Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. Now, would I rather have one of those quarterbacks or the shot at having one of those quarterbacks or a guy like Travis Etienne at the running back position? I would much rather have those quarterbacks, even if it's an Anthony Richardson, right? Exactly. Just because we see the quarterback landscape, how hard it is to get those guys and to move up. In a 1 QB league, I think it's different, though. Definitely.
Oh, agree. For me. I'm saying mid first in Superflex because, to your point, man, I think you're going to get, depending on exactly where it falls, you'll get one of the 2 quarterbacks that are going to play probably sooner in CJ and Bryce. You get one of the upside quarterbacks long-term play. And then, Mike, you also have Gibbs in that mix, which I think out the gate I'd rather have Gibbs too. And my point ultimately here is not anything other than I'm concerned as hell with Travis Etienne.
I feel you.
On the other side,
I would just say like one for one, I wouldn't want to re-roll him for a Sean Tucker, Zach Evans, Zach Charbonnet. Like I'd rather have Etienne versus those guys because I've already seen him play and I've seen him have moments. Those guys are still kind of black box as far as NFL production is going to go. But to your point about having the ability to get one of these quarterbacks, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
We're getting low on this one bottle. We got plenty of them though. Sazerac Rye I'm drinking tonight. I imagine Mike's on his standard, but
oh yeah, we're on the Svedka tonight.
Yeah,
boys.
baby. So Ross, appreciate you. Nice, Major Marker, always good choice. Derrick Henry, man, we kind of called Derrick Henry would have a big game.
He could have had a monster game, but he didn't do like fuck all in the second half.
Second half was worthless, but he still had 121 and 1.
I know, right? he like had all that before halftime.
Chig, man, we kind of called Chig for a nice game. 6 catches, 45 yards, and a TD.
Ike talking him up, man. Ike talking him up, and then him hitting. He's good. I like Chig.
Yeah, Chig's nice, man.
What do you think it costs to acquire him? Like, what would you pay for him right now?
Dude, I'm gonna be very honest with you. See, this is one of those where I think it depends on who you're trading with, right? Sometimes there's these players that in Dynasty, it seems like, you know, you had Chig for all this time and it wasn't doing anything for you, and you're maybe wanting something quicker. You might be able to get off of You might be able to get him off someone for like a third or something crazy, maybe even 2/3.
Now.
I think right now, man, I don't care who the manager is. I don't even know if someone will sell. Like I don't even know if they would. You know what I mean? Like what? What is a Godfather offer to you in your opinion? Like what was an offer for no matter who the manager is? You send it for Chig, it's gonna get accepted. Like what is that right now?
Mid to late second. I think they re-roll that in a heartbeat.
Okay. I think mid second for sure. I think mid second for sure. I think late second maybe doesn't even get it done.
That in a heartbeat. Yeah. That's the like snap accept. Late second, like that'd probably be the most I'd send where I'd be like, I'd have to really believe in Chig, but that's the problem is I can usually like find those kind of tight ends everywhere. You know what I mean? We just had somebody this morning ask us, so they sell Dalton Schultz for 2 late seconds. I'm like, fuck, man, at that price. Like, who would you rather have, Chig for a late second, or would you rather play 2 late seconds for Dalton Schultz? Like, I like Chig, man, but I'll take Schultz because I've actually seen him do it for
sure.
years.
And I mean, the smart play probably with Chig is to re-roll in a second. But I'm just saying that my question was more so like, every manager, I don't care who it is, they're going to press accept. So,
would you sell Chig? DB's in here asking about a third. Would you sell Chig for a third?
I wouldn't sell Chig for a third now.
Not even an early one. Like if you knew it was a 301.
No, because
I'm the same way.
The third as a whole is just so spotty, even when you get to the early part. Like
exactly, man. I go and listen to. I'll go back and listen to Scott and Eric doing warp data on rookie picks. I'll go back and I'll listen to that podcast if I need reaffirmation, being like, oh yeah, these guys usually don't do fuck all anyways.
Yeah, Alex hit it on the head, right? Definitely greedy to get a second, but also a third doesn't do enough for me to move him. I think that's the reality with him, right? And also he's one of these guys that has good opportunity early and a really high RAS score, so don't be surprised, man, if he's one of these guys that does actually become someone that's relevant. Not a great, but relevant and at the tight end position. Go ahead.
The second coming of Jonnu Smith, baby.
Watch it happen, and then it followed to nothing. Jonnu fell flat on his face.
Please don't do that.
All right, let's talk quickly about the Cowboys game. Pollard went off.
Oh my God.
They barely fucking beat Houston, man. Like, I know you're saying they're still better than Minnesota.
They are.
But that's crazy, man. They barely beat Houston this week. Wow.
All of our Cowboys fans that we know, Ray, JB, right, Ike, Gene, they can breathe a little bit easier. They can take a deep breath. We would have never let them hear the end of it. If they would have lost to Houston, they would have been that Homer Simpson gift, just backing into the bushes, just going. But they're back. They're still them boys, as they like to say. But Tony Pollard, Tony Pollard, Zeke, man. The combination and the way that they're using these two is fucking fantastic. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. This is what they should have been doing for years, but you know,
it finally it feels like the injury that Zeke had. And remember, he said, "I want to play if I can," because he wanted to keep that role. the fact that he got hurt and then Pollard kind of really showed well, not just showed well, but crushed it while he was out. I think it forced their hand to do this, and this is what, exactly like you said, this is what it should be. Zeke played well too. CeeDee Lamb,
they need to get both these guys 15 touches every single week. Like, that's just do it. Each one needs 15 touches.
I'm with you. Through the air, on the ground, whatever it takes.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb didn't do fuck all.
Man, I was saying how, we got to start him out of this group, and
yeah,
I still think it's the right play to do that, but his fucking week was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, right? If you would have told everyone in there when you're saying don't start CD, it's because, they're just going to crush Houston, and he's going to basically not have any chance to score for like the last 2 quarters. They trailed the whole game. They trailed the whole fucking game. He had 33 yards. Wild. Yeah. Wild to think that, man.
That's true. Dak played horrible, though. Absolutely
terrible.
Atrocious.
Absolutely god-awful, bro. God-awful.
Like Mike White level.
You know what? I had him. I used to have a hologram. I got rid of it. So Mike White hologram's gone.
Texans, on the other hand, I mean, Dameon Pierce kind of just does what Dameon Pierce does for the most part, right? We weren't too keen on starting him, but 78 yards, a touchdown, nothing through the air.
I thought game script was going to be worse than this, though. Like, if you would have told me Houston's going to be winning most of the game, okay, yes, fire up Dameon Pierce, right?
Eric said it'd be 28-0 in the first quarter. That's kind of what we all thought, and that wasn't the case.
Right.
No team even got to 28.
Nope. I saw someone say this in the chat. Stephon Diggs had a pretty average week, man.
Do you take away a lot of that? I mean, Sauce Gardner's one of the best quarters in the entire NFL.
That's going to be my takeaway, yeah.
We know he doesn't, they said he doesn't travel, so I kind of be interested to see like the matchup counts, the advanced stats for Player Profiler when they come out, the PFF stuff as well, just to see how much Sauce was on Stephon Diggs. But that defense as a whole for the Jets is actually really good. Now, they did lose Quinnen Williams, and I don't think he came back into that game. So we'll kind of have to see how that goes for that Jets defense going forward, because he's a big piece. But overall, just a rough game for everyone on the Bills, right? Josh Allen didn't have a great game. They couldn't run the ball for shit. Dawson Knox got a touchdown. Did like 7 flips.
It was like a fucking he did like a somersault in the fucking air. It was crazy.
Well, they say ass over tea kettle, something like that. It was nuts, but nobody else really did shit. Wasn't a Gabe Davis game. Wasn't an Isaiah McKenzie game. My guy James Cook, man, who'd been coming on strong, 5 touches. 5 touches. That's it.
Yeah, James Cook for me was not someone I just needed to see more consistent volume for me to get crazy with him. I understand the excitement, though. And B-Gas, no concern for Diggs. Listen, I'm not saying moving forward that you freak out on Diggs. It's just I think this is more so to me where Sauce Gardner is early in his career is like he is given some of the best in football fits. And I don't know, this is a division matchup that I think you'll be seeing some of these ugly games. Like the Jets are a good defense, and they have held this fucking great Bills team to some weeks where it's just like woof. David Browder, real quick, has a question. 12-team PPR, 1.5 start with a tight end premium. Start 10, move Palmer, 23 mid-third, and a second for Godwin. What are your thoughts here, Mike? Start 10?
Yeah, I'd do that easily.
I think this is kind of packaging a bunch of junk.
This is also like this is putting Josh Palmer in there like when you're feeling good about him over the last couple weeks. Now, I'm not saying like I'm rushing out to start Mike Williams or I think he's anything great, but there's definitely a clear difference when Mike Williams is playing versus when he's out and Josh Palmer gets to do his thing. So moving forward, I'm not a big Godwin guy, but I'd much rather have him than the third, the second, and Palmer pretty easily. Especially
in the start 10 format, it's not even close for me. I think you did a very good job.
This year and next year moving forward, like I'd rather just have Godwin.
Yeah, and still for me is going to be wide receiver 1 in the class. I mean,
that's the best wide receiver 2 in this rookie class there is.
Yeah,
right there.
The guy that Olave didn't play again, so we had Olave bad week, and then no Olave this week. So
Jesus Christ,
Garrett Wilson, best receiver on the field today. So take that for whatever you will. 6 for 78, even with Mike White playing pretty fucking terribly.
Mike White's got awful.
27 to 44 for 268, no touchdowns, no picks. Flacco came in a couple different times. Any other thoughts on the Jets offense? If whatever you had to say about Wilson or Elijah or any of these guys?
Bam fucking night, man. Still, Michael Carter back. It's still the Bam night show. We got to pay attention to this dude, man.
Yeah, we should have been paying attention. I think now it's like until you show me otherwise, I think he's a very good start, like top 15-ish option. You
got no reason to sit him, man. That's a guy we loved because Ray loved him talent-wise coming in before the draft. And then obviously the NFL draft didn't go the way we thought it was going to go for him, or I'm sure him and his agent didn't think it was going to go.
Undrafted,
all of a sudden
right?
You're looking at a guy who's undrafted, right? And that's all right, you're undrafted. Like, I have a little bit of interest in you, Adam. Like, you have a lot of shares from him, but that's because of the pre-draft process, not because of post-draft.
Sure.
After the draft, we were just like, all right, this is kind of a dude, right? The Scott Connor, the Scott Connor approach, right? Any RB on a 53, we just chuck him on your roster at the end of your bench, and you don't really think about it. Right. Holy shit, though, man! Like, you're gonna do this. When he did it a couple weeks ago, and then last week, you're like, okay, I kind of seen that. The studs aren't in there. You don't got anybody else to go to. Michael Carter's coming back, and he's playing against the Bills. And I said this morning, like, I don't really got a lot of interest in it. Comes out, not that it was an insane game, but 17 for 71 and a touchdown. Like, yeah, I'm going to pay attention to him. So, Bam night moving forward until he shows me that I can't start him, like, this dude could be something special in the playoffs for you. Really good, because he cost you fucking nothing.
Yeah, so I'm 100% with you. I think he's a top 15-ish option, top 20 for sure every week right now for the rest of the year until proven otherwise. Shane Joe's question is, what do you do with him in the offseason? I have him everywhere. I love Bam. I think it's going to depend on what happens and what he costs. He's probably going to be someone I can trade if I can get something reasonable back. Just because it's unlikely that he's going to, keep the reins for a long period of time.
That's, like, if I could get any second out of him in an early third. Now, I just shit on those picks because of Warp, but also the history of undrafted free agents. We've seen that, right?
Yep.
We had a guy finish as RB3 once upon a time, and he also plays with the Jets right now and can't even get activated on game days. So you just move on.
Last game we'll get to, man, is so Joe Burrow, got himself a win finally versus the Cleveland Browns.
He did. Sorry, man.
Got that goose off his back. He kind of saw it coming a mile away. T. Higgins, though, the injury, this one.
Fucking Bengals, man.
This one sucked for T. Higgins.
So from everything I know, he apparently tweaked his hamstring in the pregame, and the Bengals didn't say shit, and he wasn't going to play at all. And then T. Higgins snuck out on the field for like the third snap, and then they pulled him out. You couple that with the fact that it appears that Tyler Boyd broke a fucking finger.
Yep. Did not look good. He was screaming through his helmet. Like, it didn't look good.
Yikes. And, Joe Burrow still gets the win because Jamar Chase is good at football. Did you see that touchdown catch he had, too, where he wasn't even looking for the fucking ball?
Of course.
He wasn't even looking. He picked up his head for a split second, like, oh, shit, there's a football.
Of course.
I should catch this.
Look, man, I'm still rocking the Browns gear. I had that the entire game on. I watched it all. Denzel Ward did light him up one time. They tried to throw a screen right to him. But outside of that, man, he's just good. He's a wide receiver 2 overall in Dynasty, no question about it. This team's good. Mixon was solid, nothing great, but he had like 90-some yards on the ground. A solid outing for Mixon in his first game back from the concussion.
Yeah.
P. Ryan vultured a touchdown, for those of you who were needing more from Joe Mixon. The one thing I will say is we talked about this with one of our patrons this morning. Njoku, for me, unless you have one of these really good tight ends, like elite ones, I just think you just start him every week because it's going to be hard to pick matchups and all that with tight ends. I think he's now gotten himself into this mix at the mid-tier tight end 1, and it's just you got to fire him up weekly because he has the upside.
I'm trying to think of like tight ends I would start over David Njoku every week.
Well, let me ask you this. Kelsey and what about Andrews right now? How concerned are you with Andrews? It's been a while since Andrews has scored well.
We'll have to see too what happens with Tyler Huntley. Apparently, he's got a concussion. Like, if this is the fucking Anthony Brown show, oh god, oh boy,
yeah.
He didn't do shit this week. I would still say though, like on a
Andrews
weekly
though.
basis, I'm
Andrews.
starting
Okay.
Andrews.
All right,
Kelsey, Andrews. I'm gonna start Goddard when he's back.
Okay.
That
Just because the offense is better.
That offense. Hawkinson, maybe.
Are you for sure doing that though? Like how good he wasn't that great today, honestly.
6 for 70.
Man,
Some of it was
better. Okay, garbage time. I was gonna say he didn't do much early, so 6 for 70 is pretty good. Yeah, I mean if you want to start Hawk over him, I'm fine with that too. But
and maybe like we'll have the conversation with Pat Freiermuth, but again we have the Kenny Pickett thing. Like if KP isn't in there, Freiermuth isn't as appealing to me. You know what I mean?
Even if you want to say all those guys, you're still putting him basically like tight end 6, tight end 7. Everybody south of that, I'm just gonna start
at worst,
Njoku, right?
Like yeah.
And that includes
Ingram
versus
versus
Kittle.
Njoku, Jag. Ingram versus Njoku, it's fucking Njoku. It's not a question.
Yeah, well, all right. This week, obviously, Ingram went bananas, but I'm still starting Njoku over Ingram next week.
Yes.
Anything else, Mike? I think that's kind of
Donovan Peoples-Jones, man, 100 yards, 8 catches. Let's go. Still took a loss, but fucking did something because Amari didn't do shit.
Speaking of which, that injury, he didn't do shit. I'm wondering how bad it is. And
yeah.
DPJ's arrow's up, man. He's been looking good. Go ahead. What do you got?
Hey, Watson looked much
better.
Much better.
Now,
much better.
The offense as a whole still had a lot to be desired. There was issues, but Watson
couldn't run the ball.
Couldn't
run the ball.
I mean, it's just not.
Couldn't run the ball.
Couldn't run the ball. So, yeah, we'll end on the sad Cleveland Brown notes. Mike, anything you kind of wanted to touch on here before we get out of here? Any other quick players or things you're looking for? Obviously, we got the Dolphins, Chargers here.
No, man, we get to see the number 5 versus number 6 pick. Was 2020 draft.
Yeah, man.
To watch that. Let's go. We get to finally fucking put it to bed. Who's the better quarterback, Tua or Herbert? I'm just kidding. we all love Justin Herbert, but Tua's pretty fucking good too. Yeah. So I'm interested to watch that. That's about it, man. I'm looking forward to the week. We got the AMA on Tuesday. We'll have the Shade Show, the premiere on Saturday, like always. And then, like I teased earlier, the legend, the GOAT himself, Mr. Ray Garvin, will be joining Adam and I on 4D. We're going to be talking everything quarterbacks because there's nobody better to talk quarterbacks in theory about what we're going to do in 2023 than that man. So tune in for that. That'll be out on Friday. Man, that's all I got, Adam.
That's all we got, man. We will see you back here, same time, same place next week. We appreciate everyone who's stopping by. Hope we were able to help you a little bit here with our Sunday recap. Week 14, because next week when we come back, we're going to be talking. We're either going to be flexing or we're going to be crying for those of you who are going to be in the playoffs and what happened with your weeks, right? Quickly,
true.
Is DPJ a top 36 receiver? I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but I think he's absolutely in the mix of this 36 range. I don't know that I'm going to put him there, but probably in the mix here. So I'm not going to put him in there surely above some of these other guys. Anyway, that's all we got for you. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all stopping in. We'll be out of this thing. Peace.
See ya.